So welcome to RCH Mind Body Reboot. So this is half an hour of stretching mindfulness that you can use as part of your day, right? Because the time that you take out of your day to do this actually improves the time that you have in your day, right? So we're going to start sitting on our chair. That's not too hard, right? But it will get you to make sure that you have moved away from your desk. So there's a little bit of room between you and the desk. I want you to just ask yourself, how often, all right, or when was the last time you actually thought about taking a breath? Okay, we get so caught up in our day, we get so busy that even our regular breath in, breath out sometimes gets neglected. So really simple, first thing you're going to do is just take a breath in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. You're going to take a breath in through your nose and you're going to lift your shoulders up towards your ears and let them go. Oh. And you go, oh my God, I didn't even realize I had a bit of tension there. You're going to do that again. You're going to breathe in through your nose. You're going to hold that tension and you're going to make a fist. I know it looks a bit silly. Hold it and then let that float away. Because you can't release the tension unless you're aware that it's there. Okay? You breathe in, and this time you're going to breathe in and you are going to stretch. Simple as that. When was the last time you stretched your arms up over your head? And then let it go. We're going to do it again. We're going to breathe in. We're going to stretch. That's part 2. Part 3 is to release and to mobilize. Very nice. Going back the other way. So, we breathe in, we stretch, we release by shaking it out, and you mobilize by letting it move. And this can be done in any way that feels right for you. Okay. So what about if we change the stretch? I'm going to turn my chair on a slight diagonal, right? We're still sitting down, so these are all things that you can do, and you can do them in 2 or 3 minutes at your desk. Take your hands, interlace your fingers, right? Now, without moving your spine, stretch your arms forward. Okay? You might be aware of a bit of a stretch at the back of the shoulders. Yeah? Release it down. Mobilize. We're going to take it a bit further. We're going to breathe in. We're going to breathe out and stretch. And then you're going to draw your abdominal muscles back towards your chair, scooping, right, like you're coming over a big beach ball. Bring that up and release. So I'm going to start to build on some of these stretches, okay? We take a breath in. You breathe out, you reach the arms forward. You're going to draw your abdominal muscles back. This time, when you come up, you're going to reach up to the ceiling and just bring your hands back behind your head for me. Now, let your hands be the support, like a little cradle for your head, and you're simply leaning back. So it looks like you're sunning yourself in the Bahamas here. Oh, that feels so good. And release and take it down. And you might be, well, okay, yeah, actually that just feels a little bit better through my shoulders. Let's add on again. Okay, so breathe in with me. You're going to breathe out and simultaneously press the arms forward and round your spine. Come up to the ceiling, take your hands back behind you. And now my favourite bit, right? So you're pressing the elbows back, lifting up through the chest. And then take the arms and reach around the seat of your chair. Let your chest come forward. Oh, I just got a crack. As you roll your shoulder blades together, or roll your shoulders back and your shoulder blades together. You should be getting a pretty good stretch across the front of your chest. And release it down. Okay. So some of these moves are about counteracting, right, the time that you spend over your computer. Right, so I'm kind of doing the opposite. I'm unwinding the body. Let's go one more time. We're going to take a breath in. You are going to breathe out and scoop your belly. Get the stretch across the back of the shoulders. Then you bring the arms up and back behind the head. Oh, sun yourself in the Bahamas. And then open and reach back. Now you can lean forward and hold onto the back of the chair, or if you're on one of those swivelly chairs, bring your hands down and just lean forward. Release and move and mobilize. Time to stand up. Okay. So, but we're going to make it as inconspicuous as we possibly can. So you're just standing up behind your chair, you're casually standing up so no one else in the office really knows what you're doing, okay? And they're not going to realize that you're going to just reach up to the ceiling inconspicuously. Let's reach up through the right hand, because this is going to feel really good. And then you release and you mobilize. Try the other side. Big stretch. We're going to breathe it and release and mobilize. Okay, let's go again. And we're going to take it a little bit further. You reach up, yeah. Now, reach as far as you can up to the ceiling. Now take your arm overhead. And here, because our necks get a little bit stiff, you might want to look up and look down. Oh yeah, that feels good. And then release and let it go. I try to sneak in as much mobilization as I possibly can, all right? And it doesn't matter what it looks like, it's all about what it feels like. Let's try the other side. So we're reaching up, reach as far as you can, and then bring that arm over in an arc towards the right side. You'll feel this all the way down through the left side of the body. And then you might want to add that neck turning. Gently bringing it up and shaking that one down. Okay, doing okay. Let's try and add on. We're going to reach up. We're going to take the arm overhead, and then you're going to allow your hips just to shift over to the right side. Use your hand on your chair to help stabilize you. So you get the stretch all the way down through the side of the hip. And bring it up and shake it down. So that wasn't too hard. Really simple moves. Reaching up, you take it over, and then you take it a bit further. And you bring that up, and you give that one a little bit of a shake. Okay, again, I'm going to turn my chair side on so that you can see this really clearly. I'm going to place my left hand on the chair, okay, standing up nice and tall. We're going to use our right hand, and you're going to reach it forward, okay, but then you're going to reach a bit further, okay, so you're going to reach and you feel the stretch through the back of the shoulder, and then like you're opening a door, reach back behind you. Fabulous. Feed the arm forward and then feed the arm back. Feed it forward and feed it back, and go one more time. Now wrap that arm around the back of your hips and take a peek at what the people are doing behind you. And release. If you haven't already figured out, we're doing a lot of focus on the upper body, right, and taking the spine through its natural actions. Let's go the other way now. So I'm going to reach forward with my left arm, and then I'm going to reach a bit further forward. And then I'm going to take it back behind me. And I'm going to feed it forward and taking it back. So you are rotating through your spine. Reach and back and reach. Now wrap. And release. That's also one you can be doing sitting at your chair. Don't sit down yet, but just in case, right, you're still here at your computer, you could be still doing that without banging onto the chair. You could still be doing this one, yeah, or just wrapping the arm around the back of the hips. Okay, now coming into my favourite part of this. So we've done forward flexion, we've done extension, we've done some lateral side flexion, we've done some rotation. You want to start to bring it down now into the hips. So from here, I want you just to soften your knees for me, right? And let your feet turn out slightly. Now you might start getting a few looks, all right, from people around the office, but just know that you are investing in your health and well-being, okay? So that's what it looks like from behind my chair. And I'm just going to let my hips do a little bit of a swing. Just a little swing. And a little bit of a circle. And maybe a little bit of back and forth. It doesn't really matter, all right? But with your knees bent to free up the hips, just let them move. It's your hips that feel, right, the weight of gravity acting down on the body the most during the day. So when you're sitting down, you've got the forces of gravity down through your body, your hips get an absolute rollicking. So all I'm doing now is loosening them up for you before we do a bit of really nice stretching. Okay, hands up, still okay? All good? Beautiful. All right, I'm going to turn my chair back around so that you can see this. I'm going to move myself back from the chair a little way, yeah? And here, I'm going to bend my right leg and let my left hip pop out. So it looks like I've got a bit of attitude, okay? So leaning forward into the chair, I'm starting to bend one knee, keep the other leg straight. Doesn't it look like I've got attitude? Okay, and then the other way. Now, if your back feels okay, you can take this a little bit further, but you might end up putting your bum in somebody else's desk. But I'm just going to show you where I'm going to go. I'm going to move back away from my chair, right? So now I'm getting a bit of length through the spine, stretching the arms out. If you don't have enough room behind you, right, to go the full stretch, come forward on your elbows so that you can flex a little bit more at the hips. And what you're doing is bending one knee, right? And as you bend that knee, you let the hip drop. So your focus is on the side where your leg is straight. Yeah. And as I'm dropping the opposite hip, getting a really nice stretch up the outside of my right leg. And then the other way. Okay. Keep this going, because it feels so good, even with heels on. I feel like I'm doing some sort of really sort of sexy swagger here. Okay, I'm going to bend my left leg so that my right leg is straight. I'm going to take my right hand and wrap it around the back of my hips. Yeah? Now simply turn your head and then turn your rib cage a little bit. So you should get this fantastic stretch with a bit of additional rotation. We try it on the other side. So come across and you're going to use left hand around. Bring that up and give it a little bit of a shake. Okay, so let's move a little bit lower, yeah? Hands, so simple. This is your kind of standard. When people say you can have a stretch, everybody does the automatic calf stretch. Okay. Now, if you need a bit more resistance, right, bring your hands onto your desk or use a wall. Right. But what we're going to do is add a bit of stretch, a bit of breathing, and a bit of mobilizing. So right now my left leg here is bent. But what I'm going to do is just do a little forward and backwards motion. And the backwards motion is not thinking about straightening the leg. I'm thinking about pushing my hips back. If you want a bit more, you can push the hips back and lift the toes of the left foot. So you go into a calf stretch, into a hamstring, and a little bit more into the calf. Forward and back. Now I know some of you might want to take it to the next level. So as you come forward, you might want to lift your arm up to the ceiling for an additional stretch, and then come back and go a bit deeper. So reaching up and pulling back. Pretty easy. Let's try the other side. So it's all very logical for your body. There's nothing too, there's nothing too complicated here. All right, we're stretching down through the back of that left leg. All right, here we go. And we're going to stretch the front leg by pulling the right hip straight back behind you. All right, forward and back. And then if you want a little bit more, you pick the toes off. So you come up onto the heel of the right foot. There we go. Nice. Go one more. And release. And bring that one through. You're going to come back and sit on your chair for me. If you've got a cup of tea or a coffee or whatever, feel free to have a little sip. On a Friday, on a Friday night when we do an online stretch class, and we have a glass of wine, because what better way to stretch than with wine? Okay, so we've just been doing some nice work to stretch through the outside of the hip, okay, back of the hamstrings. Now what we're going to do is focus on the front of the hips, the ones that get kind of really locked up, yeah? So I'm going to get you, all right, now hopefully now you're back in front of your desk and there's no one in front of you. You're going to take your left hand, okay, and you bring on the inside of your left leg and simply press the arm into the leg and the leg into the arm. So we're getting another little bit of rotation, bit of inner thigh stretch. And then the other side. And then release. Okay. Now here's where it might get just a fraction more tricky. We're going to bring both knees over to the left side, and you're sitting on the end of your seat like you're very demure, okay? Which is so not me, believe me. All right, so I'm going to take my right leg and I'm going to reach it back behind me. Now that knee can be bent or it can be straight, right? But what I want you to think about doing is tucking your tail under so that it comes up towards your belly button. So you're actually rocking your pelvis backwards. If you can't get that action, make a paddle with your hands and push the tailbone forward. Okay. Now, using your other hand on the chair, reach up. So you might be getting a really nice stretch now, hopefully through the front of that hip. Wave at me if you're getting a bit of a stretch through the front of the hip and the quads as well. Excellent. I know that Eve and Melissa are waving up. Well, I hope they are. And release. We call that our Spanish ole move. Let's try the other side. Right. So we take knees over to the right. We move our hips to the back of the chair and stretch back. I've got to be really careful because this wooden chair's got some pointy bits. You can have your toe tucked under if you want. That's fine, or be pushing out. You decide what feels right for your hips. And then with that tuck, okay, so you can see I'm pushing my tailbone up and tilting my pelvis back, and then getting that nice lift. And release. And bring that one down. Okay, you can test whether, this is where you sort of do a little bit of move. You can sort of test that kind of movement through the hips as well, just by dropping the knee down. All right, so just a quick recap, right, before we move into just a little bit of mindfulness. We've worked through stretching, okay, breathing, stretching, releasing, mobilizing. And we've also worked through the natural actions of your spine, and we've worked to counteract the action of sitting down at your desk by opening up through the hips, by stretching through the hamstrings and stretching through the calves. So all very logical things that are going to help your body reboot. Right. I want to go for another big breath in though. And I want you to follow the breath as you reach your arms out to the side and up. This is a breath in and a long breath out. Now close your eyes and do the same. But as you close your eyes and breathe in through your nose, I want you to be really conscious of the volume of air that you're drawing in for me. So you might hear it enter through the nose, and then breathe out through your mouth. And just be aware too of the sound of the air coming out, of how much carbon dioxide you're letting out. So we're going to do this 2 more times, okay, with the arms. So we're going to breathe in and consciously breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. Okay. Bring your hands onto your knees. And I want you here now just to start to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you're doing this, and you're just breathing calmly, you close your eyes, and you might like to start letting the head just drop side to side. And if you're comfortable with that, we're going to draw little figure eights with the tip of our nose. So it's a little lying down figure eight. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And if that feels okay, maybe you let yourself doodle in space. So you can draw whatever lines feel good as you breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Maybe you're more comfortable breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, and that's okay too. Very slowly make the move smaller and smaller until it's almost imperceptible. And what you're left with is the breath in through the nose, and either out through the nose or out through the mouth, whatever feels comfortable for you. Count your in-breath as 1 and your out-breath as 2. Your in-breath is 3 and your out-breath is 4. to 10 in your own time. No pressure. And in the quiet, you might like to let your eyes just float open. And before you think about what has to happen next, just be aware of what you can see around you. Be aware of any sounds. Be aware of where you are right in this moment, and congratulate yourselves on taking half an hour to reboot your mind and body and get the best out of your day. And a big thank you, Kathy, for organising this session. It's been recorded, so you will have access to this session again if you want to do it in recording, or let your friends know. Give yourself a clap, and I'm going to turn the recording off, and hopefully you'll give me a little bit of feedback as to how you're feeling right now.